Well, distinguished guests, excellencies, we've come to the final whistle, I want to say, of our journey today. Let's please all rise, put our hands together to welcome on stage our excellencies here today, please. A big round of applause for our presidents. Please come and join me on the stage. His Excellency William Ruto, President of the Republic of Kenya. His Excellency Emmanuel Macron, President of the French Republic. His Excellency Bassirou Diomaye Faye, President of the Republic of Senegal. And His Excellency Duma Boko, President of the Republic of Botswana. Thank you all. Thank you all. You may sit, please. And I really want us to take just a few seconds to realize what's happening on the stage. We have not one, not two, but 4 heads of state here on the stage, pledging to make sports and football a real engine for the development of our beautiful continent. So allow me to start with you, Excellence Président Faye. Permettez-moi de me tourner vers vous à présent. And to everyone in the audience, the next question and segment will be in French, please. And of course, I would kindly ask you to remain silent, to pay attention to what our heads of state have to share with us today. Mesdames et messieurs, avant de procéder, je vous demanderai s'il vous plaît de bien vouloir rester silencieux afin qu'on puisse entendre ce que nos excellences ont à partager avec nous aujourd'hui. Alors, je vais me tourner vers vous, Excellence Président Faye. Donc, dans quelques mois, on l'a vu notamment sur nos écrans, eh bien, les regards du monde entier se tourneront vers Dakar pour les Jeux Olympiques de la jeunesse. Le premier événement olympique jamais organisé, il faut le rappeler, sur le sol africain. Alors, on a vu dans cette vidéo que le Sénégal se prépare, et il se prépare bien, mais j'aimerais l'entendre directement de vous, s'il vous plaît. Qu'est-ce que cela signifie pour tout jeune Africain, pas seulement pour un jeune Sénégalais, mais pour tous nos jeunes frères et sœurs qui sont à travers le monde et qui voient donc les anneaux olympiques qui vont se hisser au-dessus de Dakar. Et au-delà de l'événement, qu'est-ce qui restera? Quel héritage durable êtes-vous en train de construire?
Merci beaucoup, madame. Je voudrais d'abord remercier le président Ruto pour son accueil et son hospitalité envers moi-même et ma délégation depuis notre arrivée. Le féliciter et féliciter le président Macron pour avoir initié ce panel autour du sport et du développement. Vous l'avez relevé, l'année 2026 a été pour le Sénégal une année spéciale. Nous l'avons quand même démarré avec un titre de champion d'Afrique. Que nous entendons. Merci beaucoup. Merci à vous pour ce verdict qui est déjà rendu. Alors nous reviendrons ici l'année prochaine pour défendre notre titre qui restera intègre. Alors je dis que c'est une année spéciale pour nous, parce que c'est l'année de la 2e étoile du Sénégal en football. C'est une année aussi au cours de laquelle nous avons fait des performances sportives majeures dans beaucoup de disciplines. Et cela, il faut le noter, est le fruit d'une politique sportive hardie et qui prend en compte toutes les dimensions du sport, au niveau scolaire, au niveau universitaire, au niveau professionnel, au niveau amateur, pour les compétitions nationales comme pour les compétitions internationales. C'est une année aussi au cours de laquelle nous aurons l'honneur et le privilège d'accueillir les Jeux Olympiques de la jeunesse. C'est une première sur le continent africain et le Sénégal sera honoré d'être le premier pays à abriter une compétition d'une telle envergure. Bien évidemment, nous mesurons l'espoir qui pèse sur le Sénégal en tant que pays africain qui doit organiser un événement majeur de cette dimension, mais qui doit aussi l'accueillir. Dans notre démarche, nous disons que c'est l'Afrique qui accueille, mais c'est Dakar qui célèbre. Alors cette compétition, nous la voulons comme un cadre de partage des valeurs de l'olympisme, qui sont faites autour de la fraternité, de la tolérance et de la paix. Et c'est ce que nous voulons partager au-delà de l'aspect sportif avec le monde. Évidemment, en termes d'impact, la compétition n'est pas encore arrivée, mais les investissements en matière de rénovation d'infrastructures sportives, de construction, et surtout par rapport à l'option que nous avons prise de les décentraliser au niveau des communes pour démocratiser la pratique sportive, va contribuer déjà à socialiser davantage, à renforcer la cohésion sociale et à permettre à ce que chacun puisse pratiquer le sport qu'il veut, où qu'il soit, à l'intérieur du pays. Donc sur le plan des impacts, nous pouvons déjà noter ça. Et aujourd'hui, les chantiers qui sont en train d'être menés, quand on prend les ouvriers, on prend ceux qui ont en charge l'encadrement, c'est près de 132 000 personnes qui sont déjà mobilisées. Et sur l'héritage, donc, on aura un héritage infrastructurel, mais aussi un héritage par rapport à un savoir-faire qui sera acquis en collaboration avec l'ensemble des partenariats que nous avons noués autour de l'organisation de cet événement. Et j'en profite pour remercier le président Macron pour leur parfaite collaboration dans l'organisation des JOJ sur le volet sécuritaire et sur d'autres plans. Alors, nous appelons toutes les populations africaines, particulièrement les jeunes et les femmes, à venir accueillir cet événement africain, le célébrer à Dakar. Et j'en profite aussi pour inviter tout le monde à cette fête sportive africaine, mais aussi mondiale, et dire que réaffirmer notre engagement à abriter le deuxième sommet, après celui de Paris en 2024, le sommet sur le financement durable du sport. Et ce sera à Dakar, en prélude des JOJ 2026.
Merci beaucoup, Excellence. Djorodjeff. Tous les yeux seront rivés vers le pays de la Teranga. Merci beaucoup de votre contribution. Allow me to speak in English now again. To turn to you, Excellency President Boko. So you've stepped into leadership at a time when the world is looking at Botswana as a hub for innovation and stability. We know that sport is a massive soft power tool. And so can you tell us, how can your country use its success on the track, I want to say, to unlock new off-field opportunities as well for our youth and our communities?
Well, thank you very much. Let me begin by acknowledging His Excellency the President of Kenya and the host of the summit, recognize President Macron, co-host, recognize my good friend and brother Diomaye Faye, President of the Republic of Senegal. How I wish this were a relay race, because then we would deploy the blistering pace, the vitality of the Republic of Botswana, the champions. But let me thank all of my colleagues here for being here, and thank President Ruto for his hospitality and generosity since we arrived here. Africa stands at a defining moment. Recognize across our continent that sport is no longer merely a recreational activity or entertainment platform. It is a unifying force, and more importantly, it's an investment opportunity that can unlock employment, tourism, infrastructure, development, youth empowerment, and regional integration. We've seen in Botswana fairly recently, a few days ago, you saw one of the most awesome spectacles of athletics, leading to breaking records, personal bests, championship record times. All these took place in Botswana. You also saw, for the first time and in the most amazing fashion, that Botswana, the world's largest producer of diamonds by value, introduced something spectacularly different and embedded in the medals that were given to the successful athletes, the natural diamond. We made a statement with that. We signaled to the world, firstly, that the natural diamond carries stories, carries epic memories. It's about lives and livelihoods of real people. That infrastructure has been developed from this resource and will continue to be developed. And so sport has helped us to make plain to the world the spectacular achievements that can be made through sport and through proper utilization of the mineral wealth of any and every country. We are grateful that we are here today. We look forward to creating partnerships. We have President Motsepe here, who knows and who saw that towards the end of the contest that we held in Botswana, there were two vicious competitors, brothers towards Botswana and South Africa, and they pushed each other hard, as we always do in sport. We support each other, we collaborate with each other, we challenge each other, we push each other hard to achieve the highest standards of excellence in the different sporting codes. And we saw that between Botswana and South Africa. They deployed their very best. They came ready to compete. They competed, and they did admirably. So we are grateful for all these, and we look forward to more. And we say to all of you, if you want world records to be broken, you want to feel the vibe, the funk of sport and the unity that it brings, make sure most of your activities are held in Botswana. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Is that an invitation, Excellency, to Botswana? Is that an invitation, Excellency, President Boko, to Botswana? Oh well. Is this an invitation to Botswana? Okay, it's well noted. Yeah, so we're going to now we're going to Kigali, and now we're going to Botswana as well. Thank you so much. Excellence, Président Macron. Permettez-moi de me tourner vers vous à présent, parce que vous avez fait du sport un des piliers du renouvellement entre l'Afrique et la France. Alors aujourd'hui, nous voyons cette ambition se concrétiser à travers la mobilisation croissante du secteur privé. Quel message souhaitez-vous envoyer à l'ensemble des acteurs réunis aujourd'hui?
Merci beaucoup. Merci. Je veux remercier à nouveau le président William Ruto pour son accueil et mes chers amis et collègues, président du Sénégal et du Botswana, d'être avec nous aujourd'hui. Et merci Mokhtar et Patrice pour vos présentations à l'instant. Mais vous l'avez parfaitement dit, d'abord on est au bon moment, au bon endroit. Et c'est important de se le dire. Le Kenya est un grand pays de sport. Je crois que... C'est vrai.
It's Shogainsawe. It's the country in which people run the marathon in less than 2 hours. That's quite a good reference. And at the end of marathons and other races and football and rugby at 7, you are great as well. And the African continent is a great sports continent. It was recalled, but we need to remember that in 2026 there will be the Youth Olympics in Senegal. In 2028 the AFCON in the region Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda, and in 2030 the World Cup in the Mediterranean area with Morocco. There's not one continent exposed to major sports events as the African continent, at least in the years to come, and that has so many athletes. And as Patricia said earlier, very often we talk about the great European champions, but their roots, their origins are shared with the African continent very often. And in France, when we talk about our footballers, it's very fortunate to have them. And sometimes we have exported our coaches to the African continent, and Claude is here, he knows that, and the president honored him earlier on. So my message is that it's very important what we are doing here. It's a question of education first. Everywhere we help developing sports apart from major events and competitions, and that's why the Youth Olympics in Senegal are so important. We give young people the ability to become emancipated and to be empowered. It's a strategy that we decided to implement in France, but we want the same for the African continent, because we teach young people rules, sports discipline. We teach them to be in a team. We give them trust, confidence, self-confidence. We help them explore their talents. A young person who is great at running is not necessarily very good academically, but it helps them understand they have abilities and maybe go to universities, and maybe it helps young people who have dropped out to have a better future. Tomorrow we'll have a session on health. It's the best prevention policy, sports I mean, and one of the plagues in the richest countries and in several African countries because of food and nutrition modes. One of the major plagues for young adults is obesity.
Le sport.
Best prevention is not provided by the pharmaceutical industry, but by sports and youth. That this represents a real investment policy.
C'est que si on veut développer le sport, au-delà de tout ce qui a été dit, il faut des infrastructures, et donc c'est une politique de développement. On était ce matin, on parlait d'intelligence artificielle. Hier, on était avec le président, on parlait d'énergie, de transport. Le sport, pareil, c'est un domaine d'investissement en termes d'infrastructures. On ne peut pas réussir en sport, Martin l'a rappelé, s'il n'y a pas des terrains de basket, même de basket à 3, s'il n'y a pas un minimum de pistes d'athlétisme, s'il n'y a pas des terrains de foot, s'il n'y a pas des terrains de rugby. Et donc, c'est un formidable levier d'investissement pour le continent africain et ses partenaires, parce qu'il y a besoin de ces investissements-là et de le faire avec les grandes fédérations. Et donc, en effet, on a lancé, Macta l'a appelé il y a quelques années avec l'Agence française de développement, l'AFD, une grande politique d'investissement sportif. On a eu plus de 400 projets qui ont été développés par l'AFD dans 50 pays. On a notre nouveau patron de l'AFD qui est là à nos côtés, Monsieur le Courtier, et on le remercie. Et je veux rendre hommage aussi à son prédécesseur, Rémi Rioux, qui a porté cette politique pendant les 8 dernières années avec beaucoup de force, qu'il a fait avec Mactar et ses équipes et donc la Banque mondiale, et qu'il a fait aussi avec les grandes fédérations internationales. C'était assez innovant, et je m'en rappelle, il y a 8 ans, un peu après Ouagadougou,
Innovative, and a few years after Ouagadougou, we were at the Elysee with the great federations, FIFA, others, NBA, and we launched this program. And from Kigali to Libreville, throughout the whole African continent, we created these fields, and we invested hundreds of millions of euros in these infrastructures and programs with Orange, Sonatel, Ediofor, Win-Win Africa, and other groups that have enabled us to develop all these projects, and that we connected with training of young people, and we involve many young people in these training programs thanks to the infrastructure built in the whole continent. And I was proud to be in Kigali a few years ago for the first competition that was linked with NBA, a basketball competition between clubs. It was a great moment when sports started emerging on the African continent, and what AFCON and FIFA do with you is a great driver for development. So policy for young people, for infrastructure, and in conclusion, I'd like to add that this is a great lever for growth and creation of wealth for the continent. And this is something that is also an opportunity to seize, because when you look at what sports represents and all the branches of sports, it's 2% of the global GDP, only 0.5% in Africa. And it means something very simple. Sports economy is not sufficiently structured on the African continent. Sometimes it's still too informal, which is one of the problems that exist in many other areas. And you have the raw material, let us say, but it's used in other continents. And sorry to make this comparison, but you have the best athletes in the world, and they play in other competitions and for other clubs, which is not good for the African continent. So what you need to do, what we want to do with you, is to really develop this human capital, to transform this area from informal to formal, and for this African human capital to reveal itself in Africa and not go to other countries to create wealth. And if we help the African continent grow its GDP, which you are, and we are going to investments, and if at the same time we show what sports represents from 0.5% to 2% of the GDP, well, it will be a revolution. It will create wealth, and we are willing to.
Et par la structuration de cette filière sport. Il y a 10 ans, j'étais pas président, et même 11 ans maintenant, j'étais ministre de l'économie. Et en France, on n'avait pas structuré cette filière. Et on a lancé, il y a 10 ans, on a fini, cette
It's not structured, and we completed the roadmap for the sports area in France. Our friend here, Olivier, helped us in this endeavor, and we created in these 10 years many jobs in our country, and all our athletes started to export themselves better. So we're ready to transfer our knowledge and explain to you how we manage this. We started discussions with Senegal and the president, so if we can use and help Senegal like laboratory, and I know my friend here, here, if he says we do it and I have another brother here who could say, I bet you want to do it with as well, because it creates value, it creates wealth, it helps the athletes to be better recognized and to make a living on the African continent. That's my belief. Sports is at the crossroads between education, growth, and the economy. I think your message.
When we invest in sport, we invest in people. When we invest in people, we invest in our future. Thank you very much. And to conclude, allow me to now turn to you, Your Excellency President, because we've mentioned it, we are really, really standing in the home of sports. Earlier today, we've seen, and I live in London, we've seen what Sebastian Sawe accomplished just a few days ago. But I want to say as well that your country breaks many records, notably in tech and finance. This is the home of M-Pesa as well. We've got Equity, we've got KCB. They're helping millions of customers every year. So I want to ask you, Excellency, can we make sport as powerful an economic engine as tech and finance, and what is your commitment to making this transition a reality?
Thank you very much, President Macron, my good brother Boko, President of Botswana, President Faye, friends. Good afternoon, or is it good evening, and welcome to the Nairobi University. Just so that you know, Nairobi University is my alma mater. I came here first day, 14th of July 1987. I stepped in those grounds there and registered myself as a student here. I have been a student ever since. I did my undergrad here, I did my postgraduate here, I did my PhD here, and therefore this is home. So welcome home to all of you who are coming here. Secondly, I had Mokhtar. He said he played for his country. Mokhtar, I didn't make it to play for my country, but I was in the volleyball team of Nairobi University. So I tried. But I am greatly honored to join you for this very important dialogue on the commercialization of sports and its growing to drive economic transformation, innovation, and opportunity across our continent, not just in Kenya. Africa today is the youngest continent on earth. More than 1 billion Africans are below the age of 35. That is not simply a statistic. It is a historic opportunity. An opportunity to build one of the world's most dynamic sports economies. And I'm happy that we are discussing sports and money and economies. An opportunity to turn talent into enterprise, passion into prosperity, and potential into real power. Sports can no longer be viewed merely as a recreation or for competition purposes. Today, President Macron in the morning went for a competition with Eliud Kipchoge. He didn't.
I lost.
And by the way, I have heard Boko, and he has said correctly that if you want relay, please find your way to Botswana. And if you want good football, find your way to Senegal. But if you want real good, international, world-class athletics, this is the place where history is made. This is the place where the first man on earth has run marathon under 2 hours. Sebastian, we're very proud of Sebastian Sawe. I mean, a man who went to school in a school, primary school called Cheukta Primary School. Many of you will not know where Cheukta is, but he has made history. Today, sports is industry. Sports is infrastructure. Sports is investment. Sports is culture, diplomacy, technology, tourism, and, of course, jobs. Across the world, sports generates billions of dollars every year through broadcasting, infrastructure, manufacturing, entertainment, tourism, technology, and talent development. Africa must not stand at the margins of this global industry. Africa must stand at its center. That is why Kenya has deliberately positioned sports as a pillar in our bottom-up economic transformation agenda, because we recognize that it can unlock enterprise, livelihoods, national competitiveness, and of course, hope amongst millions of our young people. As the gateway to East and Central Africa, Kenya brings together two very unique advantages. Number one, our globally celebrated identity as the home of champions. And I say that. And our internationally recognized high-altitude training environment, which continues to attract elite athletes and institutions from around the world. If you go to my hometown in Eldoret, you will find everybody running from every part of the world, but they never beat Kenyans. This advantage is strengthened by something even more powerful: a youthful, innovative, digitally connected generation that is positioning Kenya not only as a global talent incubator, but as an emerging hub for sports media, technology, wellness, tourism, entertainment, and high-performance industries. The home of M-Pesa is right here. We were told earlier today that 1.2 billion people in this continent and abroad use mobile money transfer. Invented where? In Kenya. From our experience, Africa's future lies in building integrated sports ecosystems supported by harmonized priorities and policies, private sector participation, regional partnerships, and sustainable financing. That's why my good friend Macron here comes through as a partner. The time has come not only to produce talent, but to build African-owned sports economies that create African prosperity. Across Africa, governments are increasingly recognizing that sports infrastructure must serve purposes beyond ceremonial use. A stadium, for example, cannot remain idle 6 days a week. An arena cannot survive on applause alone once in a while. A modern sports infrastructure must function as an integrated commercial ecosystem, bringing together sports, hospitality, retail, media production, conferencing, recreation, and digital broadcasting while generating revenue, attracting investment, creating jobs, and stimulating economies. It has to be an ecosystem. In Kenya, that future is already taking shape here in East Africa. In preparations for AFCON 2027, and you've heard President Motsebe say this, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania, under the Pamoja Partnership, are making transformative investments in sports infrastructure. Right here in Nairobi, we are developing the Talanta Sports City, not stadium, city, anchored by the world-class Raila Odinga Sports Stadium, alongside state-of-the-art training facilities, hospitality, infrastructure, commercial spaces, including media production centers and smart mobility systems. And aside from this, we are also upgrading two other stadia, Kasarani and Nyayo International Stadium, while constructing county stadia, regional academies, and high-performance training centers across the country. My good friend Motsepe came to sign off on some of our infrastructure projects that we are developing to facilitate the hosting of AFCON. And apart from these three I have mentioned, we are building another 27 stadia across Kenya. And when I say stadia, I'm not talking about a running track. I am talking about a whole ecosystem. One that has entertainment joints, one that has recreational facility, one that has film studio, one that has creative economy spaces, one that has a whole ecosystem, ICT hubs, G2Me labs, where young people can access digital jobs. So we are building a whole ecosystem around sports because our ambition is not simply to host tournaments. Our ambition is to build an ecosystem. We are also positioning Nairobi as one of Africa's leading creative and entertainment capitals through investment in audiovisual infrastructure, film incentives, digital monetization systems, affordable creative studios, and partnerships that cement and connect African creatives to global markets. Let me conclude this by saying we are also advancing this vision. Kenya recently signed an agreement with Zaria Group, and Ujiri came to see me on this, a household name in global basketball and sports development to develop a modern arena and entertainment district within Nairobi Railway City, just a few minutes from here. We will be putting up an arena there. And today, in this conference, Your Excellency, we will also be signing a contract with another group to deal with another arena in the Bomas of Kenya, so that we can build this as a hub for entertainment in our region. This is an investment of close to $130 million to support development of modern purpose indoor arenas across our nation. Together, these initiatives are expected to strengthen Nairobi's position as a regional MICE, creative and investment hub, while creating thousands of jobs and opening new opportunities for African youth. Let me conclude this. I know we are all pressed for time. To say how we appreciate my colleagues who are here. Thank you very much for finding time to share this moment with us in Nairobi. You can count on our support, you can count on our goodwill, and we are going to continue to build spaces that will make sure that we take this forward in the coming weeks. I was very impressed to see the numbers that Mosepe said. 2.5 billion people watched AFCON in Morocco. Did you mean Morocco or Kenya? So what do you estimate Kenya to be? So we are waiting. 6.9, 6.1 billion, 4.2 billion, digital followers. So we are looking forward to that next year, right here in Nairobi, as we share the moment with our sister countries, Tanzania and Uganda. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Excellency, President Ruto, President Boko of Botswana, President Faye of Senegal, and President Macron of France. We've heard our Excellencies loud and clear. The time is now, the place is Africa. Thank you for your vision, your commitment to harness the power of sports to build a better future.